How are you today? Today is Tuesday, and today is also August the 25th. Seems as though it just turned into August, and now we are almost done. By the way, it is Virgo season, going out of the cuspers and going straight into straight Virgo season. So, I don't know how any of you all still resonate, but some are still considering this cusper season. They consider it cusper season well until the 26th. However, I'm thinking that cusper season ends on the 24th. Correct me if I'm wrong. But however, good morning, happy Virgo season, happy birthday, happy celebration to those who have had celebrations, family reunions, cookouts, that sort of thing, ceremonies, events, christenings, all that stuff. Good day, good day, good day to all. Mind you, for the last few days, if you've been having a little bit of difficulty doing things that you've been doing normally with a little bit of I guess more grain or grit or salt on it, a bit more struggle than you're used to, that's projection. That's actually someone in your energy really, really thinking about how difficult they need your life to be so that you don't show up. There are some people that really want you to need them because unfortunately for you and them, you no longer want them around. But they've already told everybody that you couldn't survive without their input. They've already told people that they'll cut you off from everything until you come back, only because they realize that they weren't much in your life and they don't have as much a connection to you as they thought they did. So as they sit there holding their breath, waiting for you to call, text, or email, they're maybe starting to get it. Some of them are more stubborn than others. That you no longer want them. You no longer need them. You no longer desire them in your company. You'd rather go into dire straits than call them and ask them for anything because they weren't that good in your life in the first place. So, if you're having a bit of difficulties getting an upstart or a jump start in the morning, that's what it is. Somebody sitting there and they're hoping and wishing that they can create a need in your life that would make you call them so that they don't feel so much egg on their face because they did bet that you'd be calling them to get them out of something sometime soon. And the fact that you haven't returned collected, they're scratching their heads. They're trying to figure out what can they do. Who can they send in that would cause you a financial strait, that would cause you a food insecurity, that would basically put you in a situation to where you would need them for some money, some food, some attention, even a hello. They want you to call first. However, collective, your gray rocking, your gray stoning, your no contact is starting to work for you. Fortunately for you, you know why you're doing this. You're doing this because it's healthier without them. You don't have to worry about anyone stealing. You don't have to worry about anyone cheating. You don't have to worry about someone making up some immature beef inside their head and beefing with you about it one sidedly. And that's what they're not getting because they told themselves in their head that they're more valuable in your space than you are by yourself. That's what happens when a person gives themselves an overinflated value in their life instead of actually having real value. They aren't the person that you call when you need people because the last time you called them, they were useless. They aren't the person you call for money because the last time you asked for it, they tried to shame you, not because they had it, but because instead of tell you they didn't have it, or instead of tell you maybe they stole some of your money, that's why you came up short, they'd rather tell everybody that you did something to them or you owe them. And that's why they need you to reach out first because it's going to look a little weird if they call you after they've said so many things and basically deleted themselves out of your life. But they told everybody that they were more important and that you'd be back. They told everybody that you're making things up. And the fact of the matter is, if you were, you'd be back by now. You would have found a need And they would have reached out if any of that thing were true. You see, when people have one sided beefs with you and decide that they're going to go about the city, go about the state, go about your life, painting bad pictures about you behind your back, just know that they're cowards. And the people that agree with them and keep quiet about it, they're cowards by default. Guilty by association. Because if it was really true, why can't you say it face to face? If it's not directed, it's definitely not going to be respected. You see, they need the cover of stealth. They need to throw rocks and they need to hide their hands, because if they were actually able to confront you face to face, the lies wouldn't stand. People would see clear on out that they're making things up for extra attention. They're using your name for clout and clickbait. Somebody somewhere is starting to get, well, they actually got a bit of comfort out of dragging your name through the dirt. Trying to kick your back in so that they look more attractive in groups that you really don't even want to be in. So really, they're just really chasing clout. So you have to understand, projection is a thing, and that's probably why you might be having some slowdowns in your money. You might be having some thoughts that don't quite identify with how you're feeling right then and there. Or you may be having issues with your kids, shopping carts, electronics starting a bit slow. That's because that someone is really trying to project into your energy, and they're trying to slow down whatever you got going on so that they build a need so that they could try to fill a need. And beware, just because they can't come directly at you doesn't mean that they won't send a person in. They're willing to pay someone $10, $20, $5, $100 almost. Some go into the thousands, all because they need to trip you up, because they don't want to feel inadequate when it comes to you. Some people go very far when it comes to jealousy, envy, and straight up sabotage. All because if they can't be with you making you look a fool, they'd rather be somewhere looking at you act a fool. And that's the facts, okay? So, like I said, there's somebody trying to project into your situation. They're trying to project into all your electronics, your good day, that nice lady that you like to wave into. They're trying to project into her too. They don't want her to say hi. They don't want her to see you as a good person. They don't want her to smell your cologne. They don't even want her to shake your hand. If she has a bag, they'd rather her struggle and for her to see you as a bad guy than for you to actually be a good guy and help her out. This is the thing. People want you to look bad so that they can continue to look good per whatever they said. And it's up to you on whether or not you're going to be authentic to yourself. You see that guy? Yeah, somebody doesn't want you to wave at that guy. Not because of anything you did, but because that guy might be better than the last guy you got. He may have more in the pants. He might have more in the pocket. He might have more in the brain. And for all of your exes, that is a big old L to them, especially if you find somebody who's a better match than them. See, that's why they're projecting. They want to destroy all of your social support, your social network. They don't want you to find love. They don't want you to find happiness, especially if they're not included. So, be mindful of your temperance. Be mindful of thoughts that may not be yours. Be mindful of feelings that don't exactly align with what you got going on that day. For instance, you're walking up the street, you're feeling good, you're smelling the foods, you're having a good day and enjoying the sunshine. And next thing you know, it's just this feeling you can't get off of you. It feels like anxiety, or it feels like you want to say something unreasonable to somebody, but it's not in alignment with your day because you're having a good day. No one said anything wrong to you, but you get this urge. Relax, relate, release, and realize that it might be someone who just doesn't want you to have a good day, or they might not want you to be attractive to a person that you walk by. God forbid you meet up with somebody and have a great day, have a good lunch, have a good meal. They don't want you to do that. So sometimes if you have a lot of exes in your aura, if you have like a jealous sister or jealous brother, you have a jealous parent, because we do have those, they may not want you to come off good and well to other people. So they might project in your energy and try to make you act in a way in where it won't be attractive or won't be well received. So be mindful. Temperance is at an all-time high, and the most needed attitude adjustment that you're going to use, what? Going into the transition of the weather. There's a harvest season coming. Indian summer, the time after summer where everything starts to crop up. Right. If you've been putting in that good shadow work, you're coming up on your reward, and they can feel it coming. They can feel the momentum building. And the last thing they want you to do is reap the reward, especially if they're not going to be able to intercede it or intercept it. They want everything good from you. They just don't want you to be a part of it, especially if you're not going to share with them. So it'll be in your best intentions to be alert and be aware of how you're feeling and how you're not feeling, okay? What used to be so simple will probably feel a little bit difficult, but remember, it's not your feelings. Relax, relate, release. Inhale, exhale, say your affirmations, and remember yourself. It's usually somebody with bad projections. It's got to be awful to wake up on the wrong side of the bed and have someone else really renting your head. I mean, honestly, not even paying a payment, just they're existing. They're cute sometimes, they smell good, and all you can think of is all the good options that they're going to get and all the good options that you'd like to intercept. You're no Joe Namath, so why are you there? Oh, why is you here? Why I can't have a good time? Let me be in my skin by myself. They don't even understand, because no one's trying to be them. No one wants their options. No one cares how they dressed that day or how good they smelled. Want to know why? Because they copied you, and people are trying to figure out, why does it feel like deja vu? Why did I see this before? I swear I've seen this before. It's because they're copying you, and people usually are good on the first contact, but if they see it a couple of times, it becomes normal. Who wants to do that? Not them, and that's why they follow you. They watch everything you do. They're always invested in how you're doing, who you're talking to, and what you're doing and what you're doing it with, right? They always want to know what your resource is. They want to know what you're using, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're wearing. They always want to be up in your business, only because the things that they are naturally drawn to draws nobody to them. So they've got to try to copy your secret sauce. So just know that if you have a bunch of people copying, obviously you're doing something right. I would encourage you to incorporate some changes, some pivots, switch it up sometimes so that you don't get copied letter for letter. Because there are some people that are weird and cringy like that. They can't stand it that you have that thing that they don't have. So they're willing to ruin it for you and still try to adopt it for themselves. How lame is that? Some people really don't want to address the fact that they may be the lame one in the group. Let's get on with the Bible verse. I picked 63 this morning. How are you? Thanks for coming this morning. Thanks for a great Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, by the way. All right, let me grab my hat and let's get on with it. You all survived the first day of school. That was great. There were lots of kids out there. Now, beware of taking those first day of school pictures. You never know who's watching and who's going to do what. These kids, we have to protect them at every turn. You don't know how people use information. They're already using adult information in the wrong way. So what do you think about a vulnerable kid? Those are things to think about. If a person would hurt a person that's totally not doing anything to them, if they're willing to hurt a person unarmed, if they're willing to go behind a person's back to sneak up on them to hurt them, then they're not safe for kids or animals because they're not good around vulnerable people. They're not good around vulnerable individuals. If you have anyone around you who's nonverbal, who's paraplegic, who needs a lot of assistance, please don't leave them around people who would take advantage of them. They're just one level above a wild animal, but just as rabid. So be careful. There are some awful human beings that just want to hurt people because they're hurt people. And they don't want to fix it either. Okay, let's go. So we have Psalm 63. Good morning, good morning. Happy to see you here. Hopefully, this reaches you in good health. All right, let's go. O God, thou art God. Early will I seek thee. My soul thirsteth for thee. My flesh longeth for thee in a dry and thirsty land where no water is. To see thy power and thy glory, so as I have seen thee in the sanctuary. Because thy loving kindness is better than life, my lips shall praise thee. Thus will I bless thee while I live. I will lift up my hands in thy name. My soul shall be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, and my mouth shall praise thee with joyful lips. When I remember thee upon my bed and meditate on thee in the night watches, because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. My soul followeth hard after thee, thy right hand upholdeth me. But those that seek my soul to destroy it shall go into the lower parts of the earth. They shall fall by thy sword, they shall be a portion for foxes. But the king shall rejoice in God, every one that sweareth by him shall glory. But the mouth of them that speak lies shall be stopped. Amen. Selah, so be it, so let it be. Ashe, ashe, ashe. The mouth of foxes. Someone is very sly. Someone is very slick and strategic. Someone is trying to get away like a thief in the night. Someone likes to slip in and slip out as though they are not the harm that did come. But they are. Oh, but they are. So watch out for slick appearances, slick words, and watch out for even more hasty send-offs, for even more hasty leavings, hurrying up and trying to leave on a note, not really waiting for your response, but just asking a question in order to leave it hanging to create suspicion, doubt, and assumptions. Those are how people plant the biggest of mustard seeds by assumptions, by the benefit of doubt, and by planting little bits at a time. It's very subtle until it grows, almost like the beanstalk that Jack built, right? Remember, it was supposed to have been a hearsay that he had magic beans, but of course, those beans ended up getting planted. Think of gossip as the same way. Gossip can be the same way. When you plant a few beans somewhere, you've got to worry about how big that lie might grow and where it might take you to. Especially if it takes you to a big land, the land of giants, and it gets you access to the golden goose. You've got to be careful of crushing yourself coming down with that lie, trying to dismantle it. You remember what happened when Jack started trying to chop up the beanstalk. When it fell, the giant fell too, and then he put the whole entire realm in danger. So be careful of those small white lies. They can grow into big beanstalks and then give you access to giants. And you don't want a giant coming to eat off your flesh and your bone. That was in the story. Let's hope that doesn't happen for real. You know, the giant, like Big Pharma, like the big major corps, like big entities, companies, like, Amazon, like Meta, like Zeus, things of that nature. Those can be big monsters, and you've got to watch out how you grow into them, especially if it's been a bunch of magic beans. You threw some magic words out there, and they grew into magical lies. And now the giants have gotten a hold of them, and they're just waiting on the golden egg. They usually don't check the ingredients until there's something going on with the treasure, right? So, If you bring in somebody some faulty treasure and they're too big to take a loss, you've got to worry about them being on your ass too, now, don't you? It's called collateral damage. Be aware of what you project out because, hey, somebody might want to project it in. All right, we've got the astro matrix. Okay, let's go. So, there's somebody who is basically in a situation. It may be a mother figure, maybe a sister figure, maybe an auntie, maybe a cousin. Either way, there's a female, and she feels a lot less than, might be even a lover or a child's mother. She feels a little less than. You guys have grown maybe apart. Maybe you realize that you guys started out a lot early and you missed a lot of milestones being together, right? Well, someone's probably grown apart and they want to seek higher ground, meaning they want to seek positions of honor. They want to pursue their purpose. They may actually want to be with someone who they're attracted to. They no longer want to stay trapped in the purported struggle love, right? Maybe you started out with somebody really young and you guys have built things together, but however, you guys have grown apart. And the only real reason why you guys are together is because of the familiarity, maybe because of the bills, maybe because of the kids. But you guys are basically like brother and sister now, maybe even cousins at this point. And for some reason, one or the other is very codependent. They haven't really grown apart from the relationship. They've kind of grown like poison ivy to the relationship, intertwining just about everything to where it doesn't feel like a relationship anymore. It feels like you guys are related. Well, let's just say if you hold on too tight, you'll lose the very same thing that you tried to chain yourself to. So be aware of how you're approaching something, and you might be suffocating somebody to the point where they want to leave. Have the right conversations sooner than later. All right, we have death and transformation. We have the four of cup, which is disconnection, and we have the eight of cups, which is escapism. This is basically what I was talking about. Somebody changed, okay? It didn't happen overnight. It was over time and you saw the signs. However, you doubled down and you said, well, maybe if I do a new hairstyle, maybe if I gain weight, maybe if I lose weight, maybe if I diet, maybe if I change my nails, maybe if I change my suits, my cologne, my perfume, maybe I can keep this relationship going. Well, here's the reality of things. Some people grow out of things. Some people change. Some people level up. Some people see beyond things. So the best thing for you to do, even if you've been in a long-term relationship, is to always try to maintain or gain your own independence in every relationship. That can be one of the most healthiest things you can do, just in case there are things that change. What if you wake up one day and you decide that you're no longer attracted to your partner? Is it fair to your kids? Is it fair to your partner for you to just go through the motions even though you're no longer in love? Well, think about that happening vice versa. Your partner woke up and they're no longer attracted. They no longer feel the thing that makes them want to stay. Should you make them stay or should you allow life to happen? Because you could be robbing yourself of a situation that you could have let go and made it amicable. And then you got to worry about the attitude that the kids might get through projections, through the hate that it might cause by forcing everyone to stay together, even though you know you're just going through the motions, and the other way around. These are the hard talks that people are going to have, especially during this harvest season. I know you put in all this work, you've invested, you've done a lot, hoping that you guys were going to stay together. This is the thing. Storybooks, sometimes they have to end. It doesn't have to be bitter, but sometimes it has to end in order for people to preserve their purpose. Okay? Some people were only there for a season. Some people were only there for a couple of reasons. But just be aware of having the hard talks. Everybody goes through seasons, paradigm shifts. You may not be with your forever person. You might have just been with your long-term person, but not your forever. So be aware of the changes that do happen in life. Here's another approach. Have you ever felt like your boyfriend or your husband was keeping you away from your real Boaz? Have you ever felt like your wife or your girlfriend was keeping you away from your real Ruth? Well, the reason why you probably feel like that is because you jumped into something because you saw everybody else getting into relationships and you didn't want to be the odd one left out. You didn't want to be that one odd duck. Or maybe it's because you saw all your homeboys or your homegirls dating and you saw them not making, good choices, or you did see them making good choices. Either way, you just decided to pick something because you wanted the validation. Or you let somebody pressure you into it because they looked like the picture perfect person that should be, because everybody on social media makes it look like this is what the ideal thing is. Be aware of what you're doing, especially when it comes to social pressure. Did you really want that relationship or did it just look good? Did it look good on paper? Did it have just benefits? Was it just a convenience? Or do you really love this person? 9 times out of 10, if you love this person behind their back when they're not looking, if you consider them, if you're willing to give things up for them to be happy with you, 9 times out of 10, you really wanted to be there. Just make sure they want to be there too, because love and connection goes both ways. Okay, so we're going to start off in Scorpio. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So there's death and transformation, meaning that there are some things that have to come to an end. Like I said, doesn't have to be bitter, but it has to end. Maybe it's time for you to have those conversations that you kind of shirk away from. You might want to have them before you start kicking under the table for Thanksgiving. So line it up and tighten up, okay? All right. Then we've got the four. We've got some people that are kind of being closed mouth for fear of saying something that would offend the other, even if it is true. If it is the truth, find a tactful way to get your truth across so that you're not keeping secrets, okay? And there can cause a disconnect, especially when you're a little bit resentful, or if you think that there's going to be repercussions every time you speak your mind. Maybe you're not in the best relationship if you've got to worry about being kicked out and tossed out on your ass every time you speak up on your mind. Are you being leveraged? Is there a power dynamic? Is someone financially, emotionally abusing you and you're not aware of it, or you're afraid to say something because you may lose a benefit or two? Think about that. Are you being an opportunist? I'm adding things. Are you being an opportunist, or are you breadcrumbing yourself through life because of a few benefits? Oh, they look so good. Oh, they've got a black card. Oh, they've got a house. Well, if you could provide all those things for yourself, you wouldn't be an opportunist, and you'd know if you were really in a relationship. So, the moral of this story is you might want to be a little bit more independent going forward so that you don't end up breadcrumbing yourself or ending up in a situation where you can't leave because of the statistics, and you can't leave because of, bread, butter, toilet paper, that sort of thing. Those are things that every adult should be able to afford themselves. Bread, butter, toilet paper. Some people haven't gotten it yet, but eventually they'll get up to the point of having room and board. You don't want to just be with somebody just because you need a hat and a cot. You don't want to be a hobosexual now, do you? That's unattractive in itself. Now, some people, they like power dynamics. They like being able to say, hey, if you don't give it to me, hey, if you don't do this for me, I'll put you out. I'll do this. I'll do that. Do you like that? Do you want somebody waking you up to put you off of a couch that's not even comfortable? I don't think so. So, the moral of this story is let's be independent so that we know who we could really depend on. All right? Escape it. Sometimes that makes you want to run away, but then you've got to come right back. So don't put yourself in a situation to where you're always running away. You've got a certain amount of time to stay around so you don't wear out your welcome. Don't be that person on the couch, in the basement, in the attic, in the garage, Yeah, don't be that person. Okay? All right. So that was our Scorpio reading. We have Scorpio, Cancer. We also have Pisces. 13 plus 4 is 17 plus 8. That is 26. That's 26, which is 8 already. Be on the right side of karma. The right side is dharma, the wrong side is karma. So make sure that you're doing well for yourself and for everybody else. The truth shouldn't hurt. That was the Scorpio reading. All right, let's get over to Sagittarius. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Tuesday. Tuesday, Tuesday. Remember Norbit? And he couldn't wait for that date with Kate. There's somebody who wants to date somebody else. Someone who's starting to realize maybe they cast their net a little too fast. They took what was convenient instead of actually waiting to get the person who they were really attracted to. So we've got this Three of Cups upside down. Let's see. And we've got this Three of Swords up, right? And we've got a Ten of Swords. So that all together comes to 16, which is a 7, which is a complete cycle. So somebody's no longer in celebration. They're no longer in collaboration. They're a bit heartbroken and they've got a lot of heavy burdens. Let's get into it. What's up with this Three of Cups being upside down? Releasing access, coming out from isolation. So you've been feeling alone even in groups, or people left you alone because you're full of drama. People are starting to realize that you have a bad energy. The mojo is definitely down when you're around, yo. What's going on? You don't look like you're in your player ways right now. Look like you've got played or you played yourself. Someone ain't no half stepping. Okay, somebody was future faking, somebody was half stepping, somebody was fronting for the homies, yo. And now they've got a hard burden because guess what? Everybody looks at them very cringe like. They're like, yeah, you be faking. You be beefing for rap, so to speak. There's somebody who's always got someone's name in their mouth, someone's business in their mouth, but they're only doing it for attention and they're only doing it so that people are distracted from the fact that they are the reason why they are the donkey of the day. Come on now, face it. Don't be an ass. You're already not a Republican. So this person has definitely caused people to really want to get away from them. They're like social disease. When people get near them, they get a little, they get the ick, they get to itching. It's because they know that this person is definitely like a cesspool. This person has rubbed themselves around in the mud, have laid down with the dogs and come up with fleas. And now they have a tendency to want to be around people, all rubbing shoulders with the wrong people. People don't like that when you're social lice. They don't like that at all. When you carry a stench of wrongness, you carry the stench of social immorality. You know what I'm saying? So somebody has broken their own heart, but they're going to keep telling people that everybody else is responsible because this person isn't accountable. You see? Woe is me. Be careful of people like this. They'll definitely pull you in, and next thing you know, people will be looking at you all cross-eyed only because they're like, why are you hanging with that lame? Why are you allowing them to be contagious on you, to get that contact, that cross-contamination from such a loser? And it's a heavy burden because someone has to clean up their reputation. They have to clean up the things that they said. But you know, if a person is a coward, they're just going to allow that lie to wrap itself around and around and around. And they're never going to do anything because they're lazy and unaccountable. So someone's got the heavy burden of bearing the weight of what they built. Cast another stone, cast another stone. All right, so that was the Sagittarius reading. That is Cancer again. Then we've got Libra and Sagittarius. Someone has definitely spun a big old web of lies, and now they've got to escape because they didn't know they were going to reincarnate as a fly. Yep, fiber beans. They've eaten themselves up. All right. That's how you consume yourself. That's almost like social leprosy. You don't want to go anywhere near that, okay? That was Sagittarius. We put those numbers together. That was the Ten of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Three of Cups in the upside down, okay? No groups, nobody's eating there tonight, okay? Their tents will be empty, right? Okay. Three of Swords and the Ten of Wands, okay? That is a 17. No, that is a 16, which turns into 7, which is a complete cycle. All right, there you go. All right, Capricorn, let's get it on. All right, okay. Be aware of people still trying to transfer their own journeys, their own things, sometimes you guys can align in some ways, but there's a lot of ways you're different, and some people can't accept the differences between you two. They can't accept that people accept you and people may not accept them, but those are the differences that people have to accept, especially if there are things that they're called to that they are ignoring. The reason why you're not getting attention for doing the one thing that you're doing is because you should be doing something else, and that would get you attention. But you don't want to try anything else. You want to keep hammering away at something that isn't working. That's what I say about bad drug dealers. If you keep getting caught, then maybe you should go and get a job. You know what I mean? Okay. Knight of Wands, Ace of Cups, and we've got the Hierophant. Here we go. Knight of Wands. Let's read into it. Do 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 do. All right. Your inner wisdom and light illuminates your path above every other thing. Trust yourself. We've got fire, fire. So be ambitious. Go in, scorch up the place. I came in like a wrecking ball. Yeah. Ace of Cups. Let's get it. Try to see the positivity in everything. Everyone is unique. Try to find their hidden uniqueness. That's what I was just saying. You've got to look for your own uniqueness. The reason why you can't get into anybody else's algorithm is because you're trying to do the same thing they're doing. Try doing something that is unique to you and watch the attention pour in. It's not going to happen just instantly either. Some people want to be famous in one day. Some people, it happens like that. And for others, you've got to work at it. Find your niche and get to it, okay? Don't complain. Don't be a victim of the circumstances that you did create. All right? So now we've got the Ace of Cups. Unconditional love and emotional stability. That's what you're going to need to go forward. However, if you've got confidence, I shouldn't have to tell you that, right? You've got to be steady. You've got to be ready. You've also got to be confident in you. You've got staying power. Or do you? Ask yourself that question. You're the Hierophant. You're the bee's knees. You're the one that's going to seek the value in yourself before you project it onto anyone else, okay? There are people that are going to be watching, and they're going to be watching to see if you're confident enough. They're going to be poking and prodding to see if you fail or if you fold like origami. Are you? Are you strong enough to handle what you're asking for? Some people ask for a lot of things, and when they finally get it, they fold. They choke. They have nothing to show. They go quiet. They run away. And then they cry like a daggone victim. Oh, when they finally looked at me, I felt nervous. When they looked at me, it made my skin crawl. When they looked at me, I couldn't do it. Well, 9 times out of 10, you ask for something that you couldn't handle. That happens to a lot of people. So be sure of what you can do. Have you done all of your heavy weightlifting? Have you? Mentally. Not just physically, but you're going to need the thick skin, especially if you're jumping out here. People are going to say things to you. People are going to try to affect you in ways that you've never heard about. Some people want to be the nightmare when you close your eyes. Are you ready? Are you ready for what you are truly asking for? So, Capricorn, we've got the Knight of Wands, which is fire, fire. You're going to have to go at it. You're going to have to go hard or go home. Ace of Cups, that's you're going to have to be positive. Unconditional love and emotional stability. You're going to have to sustain yourself and not worry about other people. And that's the thing that people get. If you don't happen to get the support that you need, will you have the strength to go forward? That's the question for someone here. Okay, and we have the Hierophant. Let's get into the details of the words for the Hierophant before we move on. Okay, to make the mind obey you is a spiritual discipline. You're going to have to discipline yourself, whether you have someone patting you on the back or not. You may have somebody flipping you the bird. Will you lose the words? Will you choke? Will you get all nervous? Will you get all huffy and forget what you're doing and react in a violent or aggressive way? These are the things that you're going to have to maintain. Remember, temperance. That's 14. Maintaining tradition and developing spiritual discipline. When you're here, when you're online, when you're in life, when you're going about your day, you've got to be careful of people pulling things out of you that you're not willing to share. You've got to be careful. You've got to balance that fine line that it takes to have that type of discipline. Because guess what? You can't come out of your bag every time somebody says something to you. There are people that are there just to get a reaction. They will emotionally abuse you and point the finger the minute you react. You'll be the bad guy, and nobody will realize the person that's antagonizing and instigating the thing. That's because they're trying to lock you into your character. So make sure you have the discipline before you log on, okay? Because there's somebody who's preying on your downfall. They're praying that you log on and they can make you act a fool. They're praying that you take yourself out one day because you can't handle the pressure. They're praying that you get some kind of eating disorder because of the validation or the body shaming that they might try to come up with. Somebody doesn't want you to be fit. Somebody wants you to come on with your teeth hanging and your skin ashy and scaly. Somebody really wants you to fall apart. And they want you to do it with a smile. And they want you to say thank you. So be aware of what you're asking for, because you just might get it. Okay? So, handle your business, okay? Develop a spiritual discipline, which is a thick skin, and be able to shrug things off. You know, like a water to a duck. Roll off, all right? Okay, be aware. That is the Capricorn reading. We've got nothing but the 5. Be aware of unexpected changes, right? Because you're supposed to have staying power. Be concrete. Muscles. Okay, there you go. Let's get on over to the Aquarius. I like those. Those are the stars. Come on, Aquarius. Let's go. We've got positive energy this morning while we're trying to shirk off the haters, okay? We're not doing them. They've gotten enough space and time for us. They've taken the stage way too many times. And they've made us feel like we had to wait for them to clear off. Nope, no more time given. Time's up. Order in the court. Somebody's got to step up and give their testimony. Hopefully they don't commit perjury. Someone's looking for the truth, not your bed of lies. Okay, so we've got the Hermit here in Virgo. We've got the King of Pentacles. That is, hold up, let's see what the elements are for the King of Pentacles. Somebody was hoping that I didn't sign on this morning, and I just couldn't let them down. So here I am. Earth and air are the elements. Air being Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Earth being Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. All right, so right now we're in Aquarius, and we have this Hermit situation going on here. We have an Aquarius that kind of wants to hide out on the inside. Maybe they're out in the public, but you don't know them much because they're hidden in plain sight. They usually like to come and they like to not make a lot of noise, although they're observing everything. So we have a hermit that's in hermit mode, that's an Aquarius, who's kind of like slipping in. They're not making a big splash on the scene. However, they're taking as much information in as possible, trying to control the situation without letting anyone know that they're trying to put a steering wheel into everyone's back. So we have an Aquarius who likes to work in the shadows. They like to work in the background, behind the scenes, while trying to expose different elements about other people that might not be the best attributes. Okay, so someone's working in the background to expose someone while trying to hide themselves. This is the Aquarius reading, okay? And we have that hermit here. So someone wants everybody to see someone else in a certain light and they don't want to be seen in that light. Something like that. So then we've got the King of Pentacles. Let's see what's going on. I know I'm reading down. Someone really hates the fact that I'm kind of accurate, right? They don't want to admit it. So they're trying to make it seem as though I'm a grifter. It's lovely how bad they look on the other side of this screen, realizing I'm not. King of Pentacles, let's go. Family is everything for you. You ensure to create a flourishing and well-lit kingdom for them to encourage them to grow and prosper more. Air and earth, success in business and sticking to principles. Okay, so somebody's doing this for a group. Someone's doing it for family. They're doing it for the vine. They're doing it for the web. They're doing it for their social hierarchy. So this Aquarius, they're trying to expose someone so that they don't look so bad. So they're doing it for the clan, the group, for the fam. All right, so it's a social situation as to why they're trying to expose other people and not themselves. So they're trying to stay in the background so that they can create a good look, something like that. They're trying to come out on the upside of something. And now we have this Eight of Cups coming back, which is escapism. Somebody just wants to get their coins and leave. So something tells me that this Aquarius wants to bust someone down, get a bunch of information, dig some dirt, because they're trying to support someone else's efforts or something. Someone paid them to do this, or this is a group. Either way, they're invested in exposing someone or something. And they want to get away without anyone seeing them with whatever they're getting paid. Whatever this bribe or payment is. Whether it be money, something spiritually, relationship, real estate, something. Someone's trying to get away with something, a payment that they're not supposed to. Maybe it's Bitcoin, crypto, something like that. Spy. Resource. Payment received, something like that. This is Aquarius's reading. We have a sneaky son of a gun running around trying to do something for the fam, and if they get the positive outcome, they'll get the payment that they want, and they're going to skedaddle like they've never been there, and they'll probably pop up in some city near you doing the same bullshit, because I think this is what they do on the side. This is how somebody gets their money. They play the secret squirrel. They get into computers, hack devices, things of that nature. They're a real low down dirty dog, something like that. Okay, this is Aquarius, the 9 and the 8. That is a 17. That is Aquarius again. So it's double on the Aquarius. You dirty dog, you. All right, that's 17. Be on the right side of karma, which is dharma. This is karma. Somebody's going to get the awakening of a lifetime. Someone who runs around and digs dirt for a living, especially, is going to end up pushing up some damn daisies, maybe in the dirt themselves. You see what happened to that Perez guy. He spent his life digging dirt on other people, but he dug dirt on someone that actually ended up making their life not so great. And that's what you have to worry about. When you're willing to get your hands dirty, be willing to come up in the dirt. All right? Okay. I'm just saying, when you become one of those tabloids or those unauthorized paparazzis, or a PI without good legal access, you're on the wrong side of the law, dude. on the wrong side of spiritual law. So you have to realize that when you are illegally scrying, illegally spying, pushing past someone's spiritual boundaries, and violating someone's HIPAA and OSHA situation, you got to understand that that's not going to go good for you in the long run. So someone's hoping that they got away without any fingerprints being left, but there's a digital print that's pretty big and huge, all right? So they're going to find you one day or another. I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you, get you, get you, get you one day or another. I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you, get you, get you, get you one day or another. I'm going to get you. We're going to get you, get you, get you, get you one day. I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, get you. Where'd that come from? Somebody's definitely on a prowl for somebody. I saw a fox the other day, sly thing it could be. It had the black tips on the feet and it was like a red, but it was a very small fox. There was a small fox. So there's somebody of small stature. Maybe they have a small business, maybe small status. Somebody of a small stature. They're really sneaky and they think they're sly. They think they're the only ones that see them. People have eyes, you know. All right, so we've got Pisces here, and we've got the Empress and the Nine of Swords, and we've got the Hangman. So we've got an Empress. Maybe she's in the reverse, maybe she's in the upright. We don't know, but this Nine of Swords is saying something, okay? And then we've got the Hangman, which is that 120 degrees. Somebody has 3 elements in their chart, and that's the trine. That's the Triton, you see, the trine. That's three of the same element in the chart. So somebody's really strong in their element, whether it be earth, fire, water, or air. Somebody's really strong in their element. So we have the Empress here, and we have the Nine of Swords. The Empress is really abundant. She's usually abundant. She's got, that pulsing heart here. She's the beat, she runs to the beat of her own drum. She pulses the life. She pulses the reciprocation. What's going on with you, Empress, in this Pisces era? Okay, then we've got the Nine of Swords. So somebody's not getting any sleep, anxiety, tossing and turning, insomnia. What's going on? Someone's finding themselves in stagnation. Empress, what's going on? Your garden not growing. Something stopped for you. Something's not flowing as well as it used to flow for you. What's going on? I'm going to take it as the Empress in the reverse, because this Nine of Swords says that she's not doing so well. She can't sleep. There's anxiety. Something's not happening, and something's totally in stagnation for this Empress. We've got the 3, the 9, and the 12. Well, isn't that something? Multiples of 3. So we've got the 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then after you add another 3, that's a 12. So that's 3, and that's 3, and that's 4. 3, 3, 4. March 31st, somebody's 43. Somebody born in March, they're 43 or 34, something like that. Maybe 37 or 73. Somebody born in 73, something like that. This is what I have here. Also have the March the 9th, or I have the September the 3rd. Or we can have September the 21st. September the 12th. March the 12th, March the 9th, March the 3rd. This is the Pisces reading, so it might be March. Okay, so March the 3rd, March the 9th, March the 12th. We've got that, okay? So we've got a strong Pisces here. Strong Pisces here. But things aren't going well in paradise. Crossroads. Someone's at a crossroads. They're up at night if they're not up during the daytime, and you could see the anguish. You could see the mental stress. Someone's starting to look a lot of old and like sunken in the face. Maybe if they're not the darkest, they look a little dark around the eyes. Maybe if they're light skinned, starting to look like a little bit of a raccoon, because they're wrecking their mind day and night, day and night. Something stagnated, something stopped for them, something isn't flowing. Maybe it's their spiritual gifts, maybe it's their actual physical money, maybe it's their blessings, maybe they're starting to realize that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done that thing, cast that spell, did that ritual, said that thing, spread that rumor. Maybe I shouldn't have stole that artifact or made that sigil. Somebody's starting to realize that whatever they did spiritually is certainly starting to backfire on them. What goes around does come around. Hey, hey, hey. What? Beyonce. What goes around comes back around. Oh, my baby. So, okay. Somebody's eating crow right now. They're eating their words. Somebody's got to watch everything that they said get tossed back in their face. Somebody's eating humble pie, eating crow. Yeah. So they're stuck. They're stuck. They're stuck in the ethers. They're basically done. They've got to sit there and watch everything played out because they were willing to watch things play out when it came to their favor. Now that things have definitely changed directions, they've got to sit there and handle it. Take that, take that. Keep that same energy. All right, so somebody's realizing that all of what they tried to grow, all of what they tried to harness, all the energy, everything that they put out is approaching. Harvest season is on the way. Sounds a little less daunting than winter is coming now, doesn't it? Boy, I miss Game of Thrones. Someone's ass is just like Queen Cersei's. They're like the queen, the mad queen. They're like Cersei's, whether they're male or female. They just off their damn rocker. Everybody else should suffer but them, even though they're the ones that deserve it the most. Go figure. All right, that's been the Pisces reading. 3 plus 9, that's 12. That's 12 plus 12. It's a 24, which is a 6, equal give and take to the universe. What did I tell you? It's a harvest. Hey, look, somebody, it's the Great Pumpkin. Remember the group Smashing Pumpkins? I didn't listen to them. I just remember the group. All right, let's get on over to Aries. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We started off in Scorpio, so we're going to end in Libra. Hello, hello, Magician. Let's go, Aries. What's up? We've got the Magician, we've got the Two of Pentacles, and we've got the Star. Somebody is manifesting balance in their life because they are realizing that they are undoubtedly the Star, okay? So that's 3 plus 17, which makes that a 20, which makes that a 2. That is a balance. Someone is balancing their home life, their work life, their life period. They're balancing the good times, the bad times, and they're balancing their feminine and their masculine, and they're all hunky-dory. It's nothing you could do to kill their vibe. Loving it for you, Aries. That means that you are a leader. You lead by example. You might not be an Aries, but people look to you when they're feeling a bit of a way, when they don't have an answer, when they don't know quite how to handle something. People usually try to glance over your shoulder to see how you're handling life, to see if they can get a page out of your book. So go forward and be a leader. Don't get all weirded out. Accept your title, but pass on the ego, okay? It's very, very easy to be pedestalized. So you've got to remember to keep yourself out of that realm. Remember, you don't have to be humble. Be confident. Don't be an imposter. Be authentic. Things are going to work for you. Right now, you are in alignment with everything that you need. You are a master manifester right now. Most of the things that you speak and talk, most of the things that you put your hands to, if you do the right thing, they're going to turn into something good for you and maybe someone else. And that's going to be good for you. Remember, balance out your situation versus someone else's situation. No, you're not responsible for other people, but you are responsible for the energy and the messages you do put out there. So be accountable, be responsible, be present. And then remember, you are the star. Is I know you may not feel like it. You may not want everybody looking at you. But the thing is, you're positive. You are love. You have that energy. You have that frequency. So you're going to be the star even if you're not on the stage. That's what it looks like when you're at lunch by yourself and people just seem to notice you. People just always seem to look over in that corner where you're trying to be as unimpressionable as possible. That lets you know that you've got that it thing. People just always seem to, they'll just turn around and all of a sudden their eyes will land on you and you're just sitting there like, hey, I was just drinking my coffee. Hey, I was just eating my sandwich. I was just doing my work. You have that frequency that draws people in. Embrace it. It's going to be okay. Everybody doesn't have that frequency. Some people can go about their whole life and no one will notice them, not unless someone introduces them. You happen to be of a different energy. People just happen to notice you, whether or not they ask for your name. You are like, you could be in a whole crowd. You're like, where's Waldo? People will always find you. So embrace that. Love that about yourself and use it to your best advantage. It's going to take you far. Okay, Aries? You have the Magician. You have the Two of Pentacles, which is 3. And then you have the Star, which is 17. You are an influencer, whether you're on the big screen or not. You have the power. Little kids look at you. Animals love you. Old ladies want to pinch your cheek. And let's not even talk about the old men, those freaky frogs, whether you're a male or a female. Be positive, be accountable, be responsible, and leave those areas where people might suffocate you. Because some people try to gatekeep you when they realize that you have such a big energy. Some people won't like it when you are a natural person that attracts people without you ever saying something. Be aware of them trying to be in your way, kill your vibe, or just shut you off from people so that they can learn your sauce and do it themselves. All right? You are the star. 2, 1, 20. Okay? Keep that balance. And make sure nobody gatekeeps you. I remember when I realized that people were stingy with me. Like I would meet a friend and we'd have a good time and then they wouldn't want me to meet anybody else. Or you meet a guy and they'll realize that you have a talent that you can share with the world, and then they'll try to shut you up and make you a lame so that you can never be on the stage because they can't go on stage with you and they don't have a stage, so they'll be damned if they let the world share you when the world doesn't want to share them. Be all right, okay? Most people that have star power can't be with other people that don't have star power. They won't understand, and because they can't get the type of attention that you get, they won't appreciate and they won't want you to get that type of attention. So be aware. That can be very dangerous when you're around a person whose insecurities will definitely try to blanket your star power, okay? Be aware of people trying to hide you. All right, that was the Aries reading. Hello. Come on, Taurus. Come on, Taurus. We're going fast this morning now, aren't we? All right, we've got blue. We've got, why did I say that? That just stuck up in there. Okay, I saw that. Okay, got it. Queen of Pentacles, Justice, and 10 of Pentacles. We've got 1110, 1110, 1110. Anybody, 1110. That's November. That's also January. November the 11th, January the 11th. Who is that? 11110. Okay. Queen of Pentacles, Justice, my Cardi B card, and 10 of Pentacles. I'm going to tag her in one of these so she can see how much I just always be mentioning her. That's my my other mixie sister. You know, I call her my mixie sisters because there are quite a lot of us that are mixed with the island, has the Americas, has the indigenous, also identify with our caucasity side. You know, I do have all that going on, and some Mexican. What a bit of a hybrid. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles, let's go. Besides your motherly attributes, You also excel in leading projects and executing plans successfully. Like, okay, okay. Taurus. All right. And then we've got justice. Okay, justice. Take responsibility for your own actions and decisions. Karmic justice will take care of the rest. Libra, finding balance and dealing with karma. We talked about that. We're always going to try to deal with our things the best way we can. The Queen of Pentacles is living in luxury and comforting others. That is wonderful. It is a luxury to comfort others because some people don't have that luxury of having a good attitude or having one of those encouraging spirits. So that is a luxury in itself, even if you're not living in a life of leathers and furs and pearls and sequins and stuff. There is a luxury to being able to put oneself aside and actually have empathy for others. That is a good attribute. And then we got a 10 of Pentacles. See, in fairness and injustice, as you go forward and you take accountability for yourself and your own disposition, there are people that are watching you. It is a marketable skill. It is something that'll take you very far. It'll get you into places that other people will never have access to. That's because some people think money gets them in everywhere. No, it's your attitude, it's your characteristics. It's the words you use, it's your presence, it's the way you show up, it's your disposition that gets you access. And the people are talking, the people are spreading the news. You're like a good newspaper. Start spreading the news. I'm starting today. We wanna the of it. New York, New York. Who knows? You know, New York is one of the biggest metropolitans, and it's a huge melting pot. Everybody seems to be there. You can get just about anything done in New York, New York. From all of your favorite fakes to all of your favorite phonies, you can all meet them in New York. All 5 boroughs. You can get robbed. You can also get your identity stolen. You know what else you can get in New York? You can get some good old stock. You can get good bakery. You can get good bread. You can also become a Jew while also becoming the head of a gang. All that can happen in good old New York. So be careful with that multitasking. Where'd that come from? And that's what I'm saying. When you're a big influence and people are talking about you, they're going to be everywhere talking about you. Not just up in high offices. They can even be homeless. Some homeless people do get their government phones and they turn in and they tune into YouTube. You could be making a difference for somebody who's laying on the curb right now. They're going to throw off their blankets and they're going to say, hey, I've got that type of talent. You might be the difference of somebody's today and tomorrow. So go out and share your goodness. Someone needs it today. All right? There you go, Taurus. It's a luxury to be able to put yourself aside and help someone else up. Isn't it? It's fair and it's just. For you to go forward and spread your love, someone needs it. And hey, they're talking about you. You are the new buzz of the town collective. They love to see you coming. They've never seen anything like it. It's refreshing. It's like coffee in human form. You're like a jolt to the senses. Let's go forward and wake these people up. Wake up! I know. Okay, let's get on over to the Gemini. Let's go. You know what I was thinking about? School Days. Has anybody ever seen the movie School Days? That was another Lawrence Fishburne film when he was skinny and he wasn't, everybody thinks he was born 50 and Morpheus. He was not. He was Cowboy Hank on Pee Wee Herman, and he also was the guy on School Days, the annoying woke one that wanted everybody else to wake up. You remember he even had like one of those parts in his fade. Yeah. But we're going to talk about School Days. Remember the fraternity sorority part where they had all the high yellow girls with the so-called good hair, and they were actually the ones that were basically sitting ducks for the fraternity people. And remember, he said he doesn't want any virgin stepping on his line when it came to doing the rush week to get to cross the line to join the fraternity. And remember what they did to Tisha Campbell? They made her go in with Pipsqueak, and they had to pretend that they did something so that he could be validated, and basically ruined her reputation even though they didn't do anything. So you have to be careful of all of those social hierarchies and those groups that have you doing things for validation, doing things so that you could be a part, but making you feel lesser than. That was traumatization in a big old form, in a strategic and a social form, and a basically a structural form. That was the hugest humiliation ritual for both of them. How did she feel being the baddest woman in the sorority, and she had to go and pretend to lay down with Pipsqueak? That's what it's like for beautiful women when they have to be reduced or have to be controlled by people who are narcissists, who don't necessarily want them to have the best options. They want to bring them down so that they can feel good. So you watch out for those types of guys and girls, because her girlfriend should have talked her out of it. Her girlfriend should have never took part of it. They should have not wanted to do anything like that. I mean, they were the baddest chicks on the campus, and look what they reduced themselves to. That's what being male-centered could put you in a situation of, okay? So watch out. Educate your daughters. If you don't find the words for it, watch that movie for them, and that'll be a teaching moment you'll never forget. It'll also be a way for your kid to see what type of situation you guys might have lived through. Also, if you're a male and you want to think about how the red pill did affect you and the red pill would affect your child, watch that movie. It's a teachable moment. That moment where Pipsqueak was willing to pretend that he was getting the drugs, even though he didn't. That's something for you guys to talk about. Really, do you really want to be a simp in your life? Do you really want to be looked at as a narcissist who's willing to force people into compromising situations so that you can say you're the boss? Well, I told them to do it, and if they don't like it, they can get out of my group. Let's not be so thirsty for validation that we destroy ourselves socially. That is social suicide. That doesn't age well. Sure, it was great when you were amongst a certain group. Sure, it was great when you were a certain age. But at 40, 50, 60, and 70, ain't no damn excuse for living like that. Okay? All right, let's get into Gemini. Hello, hello, hello. Glad to see you on this here Tuesday. The cards are flipping and flopping. What's going on? I'm not going to take them, but I'm going to read what happened. The Empress, the Nine of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Lovers. Okay. So somebody's a little pissed off about somebody's love life, somebody's romance, somebody's something. Someone doesn't want anyone to find good love, real love, or love in general. What's up with that? Can somebody mind their freaking business? Gosh. When you start obstructing things like love, that's obstructing justice. And I don't think God likes that. We've got the Magician popping straight on out, and let's see what's going on. Because love is the highest frequency. Love can fix anything. Love can move mountains. So if you're going to obstruct love, you're pretty much obstructing justice. To jail with you. We've got the Magician here. Now we've got, whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh my gosh, somebody wants me to pull a lock. We've got the Ten of Cups here. Oh gosh. Manifestation going, and the Queen of Swords. Not only is someone in great manifestation form, they are living in wish fulfillment. Right now, actively, as we speak, someone is living the life that they wanted to live. They're living comfortably. Even if they don't have all of these things are optional. Love is all we need. And then we've got a Queen of Swords. Somebody's willing to stick you for it. Don't go near them. They like the way they have life, and they're extra protected. So
Don't go messing around in somebody's yard that they don't want you in, okay? Don't go poking around and don't go sweeping around somebody's porch, especially if you don't never sweep your own. Someone has their boundaries up and they're restricting anybody who doesn't have that same frequency. So be aware as you approach. I think they got an electric fence around love and you just might get electrocuted, okay? So, manifestation 1 plus 10, that is 11. Intuitively, someone has definitely mastered loving their life and leaving everything else alone. All right, that was the Gemini reading. That was short and curt and beautiful. We have Mercury, feminine, Pisces. Someone is so very intuitive. Dang, you can't touch this. Dan it, dan it, dan it. Can't touch this. Walk like an Egyptian. Oh, everybody wants to rule the world. That was a good mashup, right? Yeah. Uh huh. Yeah. So, somebody's doing their own thing, making things happen, living their life like it's golden, and you bet not come over here. Move, Trick. Get out the way. Get out the way, Trick. Get out the way. Move, Trick. Get out the way. Get out the way, Trick. Get out the way. Somebody ain't playing about their thing. You can't kill their vibe. Okay? All right. That was the Gemini Magician, Ten of Cups, Queen of Swords. Get out of here. All right. So let's go, Cancer. Come on, my crybaby lovers. Crybaby lovers. The Cancer. Cancer loves to drown themselves in emotions. Preferably, they like to drape themselves in your emotions and then take them off and throw them away as though they're the last garment they'd ever wear. But they did try it on. I'm not lying. Think about it. Your last interaction with a Cancer. They love to bear your emotions and then they think about whether they're going to respond to them appropriately. Okay, we've got the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is the talk of the town. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Somebody seems to be full of themselves in this spread. Okay, new beginning. Someone's got a new beginning. It's the bee's knees. Everybody is talking about it. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Let's go, Cancer. So, we've got the Ace going on. The Ace. Ace. We're no haters. Boy, that sounds boozy. It sounds like that's his cartoon. Turn it down, Booga. Turn it down. Eat your oatmeal. Turn it down. There you go, Booga. All right. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Plant the seed of a bright future. The universe is at your side to steer you towards stability, security, and receiving a good yield. Earthy. So someone is definitely grounded. They have their feet in a good stance. They have a good foundation. New opportunities and manifesting growth. Go forward and reach for the stars. The pentacle, if you know what I mean. All right. So now we've got the Ten of Pentacles. This is what people are talking about. Your legacy will stand for a long time, so make sure you invest rightly to make your journey even sweeter for your family. We have Mercury in Virgo. Finding wealth and enjoying family life. So someone is starting to feel good. They're starting to spread their oats around. They're starting to feel good. People are talking about it. They're a social butterfly, and it feels good. It feels good to be seen and to be heard. Somebody's feeling really good about these new opportunities. Now we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Let's make sure we're not on a fake pedestal and we're not full of ourselves. Let's read. And the Queen, it's a lot of pentacles out here. So somebody is headed to some business. Somebody's money is about to never be looking funny. Somebody say NBA. Somebody say never broke again. Somebody say NBA. You're on your way, my friend. All right, then we got the Queen of Pentacles. Living in luxury and comforting others. Not only do you have humility, not only are you getting to the bag, not only is everybody having good things to say about you, you have the luxury of actually enjoying it. You actually get a chance to smell the roses. You actually get a chance to sit down and throw your feet up sometimes. All right. Let's say NBA never broke again. All right, my friend. There we have it in Cancer. Somebody's about to be never broke again. Take what resonates: sun, moon, rising. We have earth. We have lots of earth. We have lots of earth and water, which means somebody is definitely got stability in their emotions. They're not going to be pulled everywhere. They know exactly how they feel. They know what they want. They know how they would like to feel, and they know when somebody's messing with their feelings. They know when somebody's trying to get up in their auric field, and they know when somebody's trying to kill their vibes, and they're more than willing to pivot and remove themselves. So someone is doing a awesome job. Okay, Cancer, keep going forward just like this. Remember to keep your head on the swivel, use your discernment, and when people are not making you feel good in your feel good environment, remove them. Off with the heads. Off with the heads. Go forward and be great, Cancer. We have only the 10 wishes, wish fulfillment. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's go forward with the Leo. Leo, we've got Virgo, and then we've got Libra left. We're down to the last three. Okay, Leo, let's go. Seven of Wands, Nine of Swords, and the Three Witches Empress. Let's go. Leo, you have your guard up, and that's a Leo energy here. You see there? Boom. Leo, you have your guard up. What are you guarding yourself against? Do you see something coming? Is there impending danger? This is what this looks like. Nine of Swords, which is two, which is the Gemini. So it seems like you're trying to hold off something that would cause you some sort of heartbreak, some sort of discomfort or something. The Empress, okay. Someone's boundaries is keeping the Empress out. Someone wants to keep someone wants to keep people away from the Empress. Oh. Somebody's guarding something. Somebody's trying to keep someone away from something. We have the Seven of Wands. We have 79. Someone born in 79. Someone born in 97. 97 might be significant. We also have the 7, which is July. We have September. And we also have March. Okay? We have March. We also have Pisces. We have Virgo. And we have a Cancer Leo, something like that, a Cancer Leo cusp, okay? There's a Cancer Leo cusp here. So somebody's born July 93 or somebody's 39, something like that. Something about 93 or 39. Either way, we're going to keep going. So there's a boundary being set. Someone is very heartbroken about the Empress. Someone lost access to the Empress or the Emperor. Somebody lost access to abundance. Somebody lost access to health, wealth, and abundance. Even if it's not an actual person, somebody lost access to something that they wanted that would have brought them more, that made them feel good. Someone is losing access, or someone wants to guard someone from asking someone that has abundance. Someone's trying to guard the gate. Watching the throne. Oh, somebody's watching the throne. They're trying to see, or they're trying to block someone's access to this Empress. They know that if someone gets with them, they're going to be in the softest place on earth. The best place ever to be. A place they'll never want to leave. And because they can't necessarily be in it, they are in their feelings about it. Wanting to keep people away from it. Wanting people not to discover it. Even willing to say a few things to keep anybody from going over there. They're up all night because it worries them what might happen, what might have been, what could have been, what should have been. Somebody is worried about the options. Poor thing. Aw. Coochie, coochie, goo. This is go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. No sense in worrying over what? No sense in crying over spilled milk. No sense in worried about something that you destroyed, right? That's the thickness of that lip gloss. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the 7 plus the 9, which is 16. 16 plus 3, that's 19, which is 10. Wish fulfillment, somebody's crying boo hoo hoo all the way home. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy had none. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy, I don't know, but this little piggy cried all the way home. Yeah, I messed it all up. But you get the gist. Somebody is butthurt about a situation that they no doubtably set up that way. You are the reason why things are this way. All right, so that is the Leo reading 7, 9, and 3. Let's put the 3 with the 7. That's a 10, and it's still 19, which is wish fulfillment. They get to stay on the outside of the gates, and you get to stay comfortably within. All right, I'm so petty. Virgo, turn it down, baby. Virgo, thank God I already ironed his pants. I'm going to do something with those braids. He's got those Jim Jones fuzzies on his braids. It's like after Jim Jones get a fresh set of cornrows, he brushes them. I hate that. I hate that. The fuzzy butt look. All right, so, dang. Okay, Virgo. Somebody tried to be the goat. They were after the pentacles. Now they're butthurt and 6 of wands. Celebrations, okay? Trying to figure this out. Just trying to figure this out. Can you turn that down, honey? The volume. Thank you, hon. All right, so we've got the page of pentacles, and let's see. Looks like a young, fresh energy, but I see a goat. I see a goat. Hopefully we're not sacrificing said goat, okay? All right. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Stay grounded, loyal, and responsible. Take your chances and grab the opportunities. Without effort, you can't gain anything. No mud, low lotus, okay? Earth and earth, okay? Double earth, grounded, stubbornness. Sometimes you could be stubborn, especially when you don't get the results that you want the first time. Being consistent and getting your hands dirty. So somebody's actually got to come up off the bench and do a little bit of leg work, okay? Now we've got the 3 of Swords. So maybe somebody did do the leg work and the leg work didn't go well. So now we've got the 3 of Swords here, which is, you know, usually the anxiety, usually the wrong things, okay? Dealing with heartbreak, transforming emotional pain. Yep, that's what that is. Saturn and Libra. Life knocks down everyone. The choice lies within you, whether you remain down for the rest of your life or rise again. Remember, this is the Virgo reading. Then we've got the 6 of Wands, okay? I'm not very hopeful. Okay, so we've got embrace your uniqueness and display your talents because no one is like you. Jupiter, Leo, basking in victory, acknowledging fame and pride. Yikes. Let's go back. Because sometimes you've got to understand the relation to it, because sometimes the cards will be saying something, 3 different things, but you've got to put them together and make them make sense. Okay, so we've got the page here. Being consistent, getting your hands dirty. Then we've got the 3 of Swords, dealing with heartbreak, transformation, and emotional pain. Then we've got the 6 of Wands, which is basking in victory and acknowledging fame. Seems like a lot is going on here. So after you get your hands dirty, you start dealing with heartbreak. But then you're getting public recognition. So somebody didn't want you to get out there and handle your business. So now they want to break up with you because you're being celebrated publicly. Sound like somebody met up with a hater. Okay, that's what it is. Someone met up with a hater. You can't be great because they don't, because if they can't be great with you, they'd rather if they can't have you, nobody can. Somebody's got a toxic love. Somebody's with somebody, male or female, that don't want them to be out in the public. They don't want people to see them. They don't want they're very insecure. So for them to be out in public automatically makes them an option for people. Even if you are the one that says I'm faithful, I'm not going to cheat on you, I'm not going out to there to leave you, I'm just going to go make money. This person's insecurity will stop your whole bag. They will stop your business, they will stop your money, they will stop your network. They are willing to detrimentally put a hatchet in their own life just to make sure you don't go forward and pick somebody different. I need somebody to pay attention to the red flags. If you have somebody who you know would 9 times out of 10 take you out, all because they don't want you to be with anybody else, they don't want you to experience anybody else, or they don't want anybody to experience you, be aware of the red flags and slowly but surely get yourself to safety. There's no reward in being with a person who can't be normal, who can't accept the fact that you might be in the public eye. See, I don't like people who like to spend your public money but can't take the pressure of you being in the public eye. There are some people that say they want stars, they want famous people. There's some people that say they want rich people, they want millionaires, but then they can't stand for that millionaire or that rich person or that famous person to go out and make their coins the same way that they would have made them had they not met them. But then the difference in their life is because they hooked up with somebody who wasn't aligned with the blessing. And that's why it's dangerous for people who got a bag, who got something to do, who have, public, recognition, who are getting publicly celebrated, to be with people who understand what their thing is. Because if you get with a person who's very insecure, they just can't stand for you to shake an attractive person's hand without them thinking, oh, you're going to be in bed with them. Oh, you're going to leave me. Oh, I'm going to lose the opportunity. You can't be with people like that because they'll always put a hamper in your happiness. They'll always be looking to snatch your joy. You better not smile at that person. You better not smell good. You better not look good. You better not show them your money. I'm rich. I'm in the public eye. I'm attractive. People are going to see me. You're not the only person that feels as though I'm attractive. However, I did tell you I was faithful. However, I did tell you I was only for you. And then they get really hurt when you no longer want to be with them because their insecurity has made them unattractive. Their insecurity has made you not want to be with them anymore. So now, because of how they have acted or how they have displayed themselves, now their worst nightmare has definitely come true. You no longer want any parts of them. And now that this person has done way too much, now it's revenge because how dare you leave me because I did the very thing that made you want to leave me. Now you've got to realize when you're dealing with very dysfunctional people. Some people are very toxic. They only get things one way, which is their way. And they've been entitled. Maybe they've never had a person that looks as good or makes as much as you. Or maybe they just always have to have their way and everybody else usually lets them exhaust them. So why not you let them exhaust them? How dare you be different when they've made everybody else do what they wanted them to do? Be aware of people like that. They don't like the word no, and they don't like disappointment, and they don't take it well, and they don't take it healthy. Make people aware, have support. Let the local law enforcement know if you're dealing with a person that might come out of a bag on you because it's going to be pivotal to your health, and it's going to be pivotal to your safety. People that don't allow you to leave when they've done everything that makes you not want to stay, they can get a bit delusional. So be aware and protect yourself, okay? And that's what we have for the Virgo reading. There's somebody who wants it their way and they're heartbroken because you are the way you are. People love you. There will be more than just them that love you, and they can't stand it. They want to be the only one that sees you. They want to be the only one that loves you. They want to be the only one that touches you. They want to be the only one to access you. But you were not given to them. You were given to this world by way of the Jehovah, by way of Christ, by way of God. You were put here to share your gifts. You were not put here to be gated. You were not put here to be kept and rationed to a few people just because somebody else agrees or does not agree. Don't allow anybody to control your environment. Know when you're in a toxic relationship. Okay, Virgo, let's go forward. The number is 3 and 6, which is 9. Do a lot of praying. Do a lot of manifesting. Manifest this person out of your life and manifest yourself to a safe environment. That is the reading for Virgo. All right, let's get on to Libra and our last one. No, we started off in Scorpio, so Libra is the last. Oh, wow. Wheel of Fortune popped straight on out. It's 4:50 to anybody who needs to know. It is 4:50 a.m. Wheel of Fortune, we've got Jupiter here, and we've got the 10, and we've got the 9 of Pentacles in Virgo, and we've got the 16 Tower. Let's go. Libra is our last, but not our least, okay? My lip is dying. Let me put a little bit of something on there. Mm-mm-mm. There you go. Slide some oil to me. You know somebody who's got crusty lips? That might be a sign of low sugar. It might even be a sign of dehydration. It might be a sign that they need to switch up lip glosses because it gets a bit too thick. Okay? All right. Let's keep going. Wheel of Fortune. Here we go. The wheel is definitely turning. This is the Libra reading. Come down. Somebody did a roller coaster. There are ups and downs in this here life. If you're living life long enough, you have lived long enough to go up and down. It doesn't matter how positive your life is. If you are living indeed, there will be some moments that are not as up as you wanted them to be. Okay, so that just lets you know that you are living, that things don't stay the same all the time. They do ultimately change. Okay, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune here, which is the 10. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. The past is history. The future is mysterious. And then tomorrow, this starts all over again. What are you going to do? How are you approaching life? The Jupiter, the symbol of Jupiter does look like the 24. It looks like a 2 and a 4 meshed together, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It does. Welcome change, having good luck. Hey, we don't deal in luck over here. We deal in blessings. But for the rest, we'll let them have it, all right? So let's see. Definitely welcome change. Know that life is full of all possibilities. You know, life is like a bunch of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Hopefully, you don't get that nasty nougat stuff. Ew. I don't like the cherry cordial either. Ew. Yuck. All right. Shout out to Lynn's. Lynch chocolates. Lynnhurst chocolates. Whatever that is. What is it? Lynch? Yeah, it is. All right. So, 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles after the Wheel of Fortune. Welcoming change and having good fortune. Organizing your life and dealing with disruptions, okay? That all depends on what side of the wheel you turn on. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles just says your life is replete with wealth, prosperity, abundance, and luxury. Be thankful for everything you got and stay humble. So somebody is taking something for granted. They're taking life for granted. They're taking their turn on the wheel for granted, okay? Finding abundance, being self-sufficient, avoiding overindulgence, overcoming lack of self-worth. Somebody is definitely taking their position in life for granted. They're not seeing the riches that they have in life. They're always downplaying it, always looking and asking for more, but never taking any I'm looking for a word. They're never ever looking at what they have, and they're never appreciative of what they already have. And that's something that you could be ungrateful. Don't be ungrateful for the things you have, for the things that you want, because you may not need them. I'm going to say it again. Be grateful for the things you have and not always pining for the things you want, because you may not need them. The very things you want may be the thing that makes you have a downfall. Okay, this is the Tower. Okay, that's happened. I just mentioned this. We just talked about this. As life happens to you and you live life long enough, you'll realize that there will be some situations where you're not as up as you'd like to be, and there'll be some situations where you're not as down as you thought you were. Okay, so it's important for you on any position that you are on the board is to take life. Be grateful for the life that you have, and be grateful for the things that you have, because things could change in a moment. Somebody has definitely taken their life and their blessings for granted. This looks like somebody who has a lot, who has a husband, who has a home, who has a car, who has breath, who has life, who has basically they have their right of mind, or at least that's what they look like, okay? And they take everything for granted because you happen to come through with something they may like. Maybe a man, maybe a dress, maybe an attitude, maybe a song, maybe something you do. But they don't have necessarily nothing. They really do have a lot. It's just that when they see their stuff in comparison to yours, they want your stuff. Even if they have more, there are some people that are greedy like that. There are some people that are gluttonous like that. There are some people that are covetous like that. Even if they have a lot, they still don't want you to have anything that makes you feel good because they don't have it. Be careful of people like that. They will mess up everybody's blessings, all because they take all of their blessings for granted. Be aware that is a dangerous frame of mind to be in, okay? So somebody has definitely turned their wheel of fortune by way of taking everything that they had for granted. Maybe it's a dark-skinned woman that wears dresses like that. Somewhere like one used to like to wear belts or something with their dresses. Someone likes to come off just like that. This is how their garden is. Someone has these things, but they've taken them for granted. So now guess what God usually does? If you don't like what you have, how about I take it and give it to someone else and let them look good with it so that you can look at them and covet that? Sometimes that's exactly how the Lord would work. Oh, you don't appreciate it? Let me pack it all up then. You don't want the husband? Okay, you don't want the husband. You don't want the wife? All right, let me. Oh, you didn't want. Oh, let me take that too. The car. Let's put that in repo. Let's do all of that, and he'll take everything and leave you dry. And the person that you hate the most will get everything that you took for granted, and then they'll have a nerve to be happy with it. And there you go, sitting there all sour in your face because you had all that and you threw it away trying to chase someone else's dream. And now you work up in your worst nightmare. Not only do you not have what they had, you don't even have what you used to have because you weren't happy for it. You took it for granted. You always saw the cup is half empty, never really paying attention to it being half full. And now that the well is dried up, you thirst. You thirst for the old life that you used to have, but you forfeited because you were too busy trying to get someone else's bone. Remember the dog at the lake with the bone and how he kept watching in the reflection, and the bone that the dog had in the reflection, it looked a bit juicy. Him not realizing it was a reflection of the bone he already had. And when he opened his mouth thinking he was going to get that other dog's bone, he dropped the real bone come in here. He dropped the bone that he had, that part. So don't take the things that you've gotten for granted, else somebody else be found with them and they'll think that it's a treasure. All right, that has been the last reading. That was Libra. 10 plus 9 is 19 plus 16. Let's put that all together. 19 plus 16. Oops, that's not sharpened. 19 plus 16. That would be 15, 35. That's an 8. So be on the right side of karma. We got a lot of H's today. Somebody needs to look up that spirit number, 8888. All right, 4 8s, okay? All right, that's been us. The number was 35, which turns into an 8. Be on the right side of karma, which is Dharma. And until next time, this has been Nyx. Have a good morning. Happy Tuesday. Bye-bye.